I recently did an internship at Costco Pharmacy. It was great. I got all the free samples I wanted. Free food samples. By the way, I tell people that and they think it's drug samples. Anyways, I loved it and I learned so much. I learned that you should not call a patient named Princess because it might be a dog. I actually did not do that, but I almost did. And can you imagine calling a dog and being like, "Hey, is Princess there?" No, she's pooping in the backyard. Oh, sorry about that. So I've learned so much from my community rotation. This summer I'm going to do a hospital rotation. So I do not know exactly what hospital pharmacists do, except for the small research that I have done. So I'm just going to go over the broad differences between retail pharmacists and hospital pharmacists. So the thing I noticed in retail is that you are talking to patients all the time. You will get hundreds, if not thousands, of phone calls. Patients calling in prescription renewals. Patients calling in asking about questions about their medications. Or you calling patients and asking why they haven't filled their prescription. You're going to greet patients all the time. They're constantly coming in. You're going to help them with their questions in the OTC aisle, explain what their new medication is for or if they have any questions about it. So you really have to have a strong love for people if you're going to go into the retail setting, because some people can be a little bit rude. You have to keep your cool, keep your composure. And another thing about retail pharmacy is that you fill for quite a long time. Usually it's a month. Sometimes it could be longer, up to 3 months. Hospital pharmacists work more closely with nurses and doctors. In the retail setting, you could get calls from medical assistants, nurses, or doctors, but in a hospital, you're actually there, person to person, talking to them. And so the level of communication is definitely elevated. You have to know your scientific language. You could talk about LDL, HDL, hydrochlorothiazide, you could say all the names and it'll be great. Whereas when you're talking to patients, your communication level needs to be more like how I communicate on a normal basis, like this. Also in a hospital setting, you're going to make TPNs, or total parental nutrition bags, which is basically just a bag that is full of nutrients. Never actually seen one in person, but I saw one in my textbook. And then finally, you're only going to fill for a day or two, usually, because the patient is only going to be in the hospital for a short time. Whereas out in the community, you're giving it to them to take to their home, so you want them to have a larger supply. So yeah, that's the kind of a broad definition, working directly with patients all the time or working directly with doctors and nurses. I hope you enjoyed this. Please hit that like if you did, and I'll see you in the next video. You rock.